There's 5 million people who are migrating every month to cities. The world is now urban in the sense that more than half of its population lives in cities. Secondary cities are growing very, very rapidly. So the decisions that will be taken today will impact a lot the future.
I think the conference is essentially an acknowledgement that urban issues and fast urbanization is a problem that is staring in our face.
When you think about a particular development problem, it's no longer possible for a single organization to address a problem effectively. You have to work in a group. And this is one of the examples.
This meeting brings together people from many different sectors, the academic sector, the government sector, NGOs, industry. All of these kinds of organizations have particular roles to play in cities.
The good part is that many people around the world are now starting to invest in thinking that can we do something to prepare? And I think the opportunity for me personally here is to come and discuss with other similar people around the world who are thinking the same.
We need all of these voices if we're going to make cities as good as they can be in the future.
In cities such as Lusaka, there is high urbanization. Now, talking about high urbanization means that a lot of people are living in slums.
The need to fight for entitlements and identity for slum dwellers has become critical in the last 25 to 30 years because urbanization is bringing more and more poor people into cities, but they remain invisible in the eyes of the city and the nation.
People's voice does matter. Economic development cannot succeed, without a peaceful environment.
It's not just avoiding or preventing slums. It's changing the mindset of the cities and the concept of the city in order to provide a real alternative to the slum.
The challenge that we took on is how do you optimize the use and allocation of land in the city such that you can have a city that functions more efficiently, but also improvement of living conditions in the slums, and at the same time restructuring in a way that it can release more land for public spaces, for parks, and for a road network to enable mobility to function.
The rooftop space is something we never think about it, but several cities have used rooftops creatively, rooftop cafes and restaurants. In other places, rooftops are now a place to harvest water or energy. If you've got a city that's 2-floor buildings and you add the rooftop as usable space, you've added a third of your space. It could be for urban farming, it could be just for greening, or for creating a green layer on rooftops that just change the feel of the city.
We did a adaptive reuse project in Shanghai, Kaohsiung. What we are trying to do as part of our overall master plan development was to push the point that existing traditional buildings and neighborhoods have value, and also it can relate back to the culture of that city, in this case in Shanghai.
Some of the challenges that we face as Ministry of Local Government and Housing is the planning of the city.
Now there are many cities which are really wishing to recover urban design, because if you do it before the people is there, the cost is much less. A good design generates a lot of jobs, increases the productivity of the economy. But if you do nice buildings, but without real city space and city connectivity, you lose most of the advantage of urban economy.
Many of the urban issues need to be connected to market solutions.
The role that entrepreneurs can play is extremely central and extremely important, because they are usually on the cutting edge of trying to find new solutions.
It's going to be a multi-stakeholder effort. It's probably a better time than any time in the past in the history to do a very good project.
As I've begun to learn about cities, the thing that has struck me most is the absence of data. Data that tells us about the infrastructure, its condition, its operation, about the environment, and about the people. And what's so exciting now is that we have technologies that can give us a view of the city with unprecedented granularity, unprecedented coverage, unprecedented timeliness.
It's about connectedness, the ability to gather people, finances, to mobilize resources that cuts across nation states. If market could offer a solution, why not?
I think a major benefit out of this conference and what I learned is to make more creative use of the strengths that different sectors of our society can bring forward.
Urbanization is a reality, and I think that urbanization is not just a price that you need to pay for development, but instead it can be in itself a source of development. And this is, I think, slowly changing the attitude towards urbanization.
Somehow the people who are assembled together represent a range of people that you may not necessarily meet in your day-to-day life. You meet people from different countries, you meet people who are different stakeholders, and you get a chance to start dreaming about future possibilities.